Oh my god. Oh god, I'm just an idiot. I'm just a fool. Can't get anything right. There. There! Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today. Maybe the fact that I'm really depressed and I look terrible at the moment. I know I look terrible. I'm well aware of that fact. Look at my hair, it's disgusting. I feel disgusting. I look disgusting. I am disgusting. So, yeah, I basically wanted to talk about the fact that I'm ugly, and I know I'm ugly, and people have made comments on here, just, to sort of say, oh God, I can't get anything right, I just look terrible. No matter what I do, I'm hopeless. I am never, ever, 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 ever going to be desirable to anyone. Look at me, I'm just repulsive. Look at my hair. I'm just fed up with it. I am seriously fed up with it all. I'm feeling really rubbish today. This isn't wine, by the way. This is water. Even if I'm acting as if I'm drunk or something. Well, that's not the case. No. But yeah, I mean, okay, things I hate about my appearance and myself, like physical things. I wouldn't even go into the mental things because I just think I'm just a rubbish person. Things I hate about myself are the dark circles under my eyes. So that, my chin, is kind of like a double chin, and it looks terrible. I've got a voice like a really deep masculine voice, and I can't. My lack of boobage, as you can see, I haven't even got the right colour bra on. I'm just pathetic, I really am I'm just feeling really kind of it's like as if like I don't belong in this world anymore. It's like as if I I should have transitioned when I was younger and I didn't. And now finally, when I actually do transition, I'm still getting turned away from groups because they say, oh well, you're too old, or you're not like what we want to showcase as trans, because I'm the I'm like the maybe even the wrong sort of trans. So yeah, I mean, it's like nobody ever kind of helped me when I was younger. In fact, people went out of their way to make life difficult for me. I was bullied at school. I remember one incident, when I was about 3 or 4, where all the girls in the street lined up. There was an older boy, and he seemed like a man to me, but I mean, bear in mind I was only 4, so he was probably about 12, 13. But he was giving all the girls a swing, and when it got to me, because I wanted to swing, because it just seemed natural for me to line up with the girls, and he sort of like, grabbed me and he just threw me in the air, and I landed on my head. So, and I can remember actually sort of like the impact of it, and I got up and everything was blurry, and then, so I don't know whether that did any damage to me, but I'm not a very mentally sort of resilient person, and I have like some kind of learning difficulties as well with certain subjects, and sort of grasping kind of practical things, so yeah. And then I remember being at school when I was about 5 or 6 maybe, possibly younger, and all my friends were girls at that stage, and then I remember somebody must have said something to me, because I remember thinking, oh, I'm not allowed to play with the girls anymore, when I go to the big school. And of course, when I did go to the big school, I mean, the playground, I'm talking about the primary school here, the playgrounds were boys and girls separate, so I couldn't go into the girls' one. I was just stuck there on my own because the boys were all playing football, and I was just stuck on my own because nobody obviously wanted to play with me, and I was being bullied all the time and having homophobic slurs thrown at me, having misogynistic slurs thrown at me. So yeah, and then when I got to junior school, secondary school. Same thing continued over from that, but just more, sort of bigger kids doing it. So yeah, so I was like bullied at school, and then by the time school's finished with you, you leave school. If you're a young trans girl, you leave school, and we did in those days, you leave school without any flaming bloody self-confidence whatsoever. I am fed up of trying to say things and not being able to get my words out. So this is a new Katie. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's just, I mean, I kind of find now that all of a sudden, all these companies now, because I didn't fare very well in the way of work. I managed to go to university, but I didn't really, that didn't go right either, but I did get my degree. And I went into the workplace, and I knew that I would be limited because of my, because I was trans, and I wasn't presenting as masculine. So, and in those days it was quite legal to fire somebody for being trans as soon as they came out to you. So, and I did get fired for being trans a couple of times, and the final time I just kind of, they were also sort of, kind of sending, when they did references, the word must have gone around about me as well, not to hire me, because it took me ages and ages to get a job, and I finally did get a job at a very good place, which I work at now. But yeah, and so that's why I have little sympathy for people who say, oh, I got reprimanded at work for being transphobic, oh, what about my freedom of speech? Well, actually I got fired at work for being trans. Where were you then? Where were all you people like Talk Flipping Radio and all you J.K. Rowlings and all those sort of people? Where were you then? Nowhere to be seen. Where were you when kids were getting expelled from school? Trans kids were getting expelled from school because they wouldn't cut their hair, or because they turned up wearing makeup, and trans adults were being fired from work for being trans. You weren't anywhere then, but all of a sudden you appear saying, oh, what about our rights? Trans rights have gone so far. They've gone too far. And honestly, what I find now, the most hurtful thing of all, is I find now that I'm finally out as trans, like trans groups now won't accept me because I'm not sort of, I'm not young and pretty, and because I present the wrong image of trans, and people just reject me, and nobody will ever find me desirable. And it's just like all throughout my life, it's always been, no, we don't want you, we don't want you, we don't want you, and that is essentially why I get really upset about things. And I felt so upset lately, and my blood pressure has gone up to ridiculously high levels. I've been crying all the time. Admittedly, I'm on hormones, but I think it's just the fact that I feel all this. Now I feel all this rejection, of being told that, I don't really belong in this world anymore, and I don't really count, and nobody will ever find me attractive. And yeah, it's just like, all the messages are saying, just go away and die, basically, that's what they're saying. And yeah, so that's why I'm so kind of upset. So this is turning into a bit of a rant, but, I mean, seriously, I mean, I seem to try 10 times harder than everyone else to get, like, sort of half of what everyone else has got, or even, like, the basics, and I'm always living on a knife edge where, my life is so insecure and everything can go wrong at any time. I just feel like, nobody's ever fought my corner. I mean, far from it. People have actually gone out of their way, to fire me from my job, or to troll me, or to reject me. I mean, today, I like, even when I send people friendship requests on Twitter, they'll accept my friends, but they won't accept me because they look at me and they think, oh, because of the way I look, and because they think, oh, I must be some kind of evil predator, Even when I've not had any kind of contact with them whatsoever, and they know me and they know my friends, they just kind of, they just avoid me. And I just, oh, you know, I think like the trope of the trans woman as a predator is still there, but it seems to be okay now as long as it's directed at older trans women and trans women who aren't pretty, you know, and trans women who don't have any passing privilege like me. It's just really, that's the way it is, you know. And they say, oh yeah, we fight transphobia, you know, we'll protect trans youth, and that's great, you know. But like, youth is not 18 to 30, you know, I mean, like there's people struggling. What's the qualitative difference between a 28-year-old who's being crapped upon and a sort of, I don't know, 78-year-old, for instance, you know, or a 68-year-old? What's the qualitative difference? Tell me. The qualitative difference is that basically, like, you know, you're looking for a particular type of trans person who's acceptable to the cis world, you know, and unless you're really pretty and you kind of like, you fit their idea of quote-unquote normal, then you're just crap. I mean, Rimmel, for instance, Rimmel Cosmetics, they recently did a kind of anti-bullying campaign, anti-cyberbullying campaign, and whoa, they included a trans woman there, you know? Brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, it only took them about 170 years, but they did it. I mean, I can remember the time when they featured trans women, and it wasn't long ago. I mean, it was like about 10 years ago, and they had a competition for sort of women only, but it was cis women only, and they actually made fun of trans women there because they kind of showed cis guys dragged up as trans women as if it was a laugh, you know, sell their cosmetics. And now all of a sudden, oh, coming in trans people, but only if you're young and pretty, only if you're sort of under 25. And yet the cyberbullying, and like the irony is, this was about a campaign against people being cyberbullied because of their looks and being thrown in and deleted. It was called Do Not Delete Me, because people had been deleting their pictures, you know, because of bullying, because of their looks. And the irony is that they don't include any trans women over the age of 25, and the fact is that late transitioners are among the highest kind of demographic for getting bullied about their looks, you know, and I just find it really, really, I don't know, it's just like I'm always in the wrong, I can't do anything right. It's like sometimes I think I'm here like to be punished, you know, so yeah, and that's what I wanted to say really. So it's a bit of a rant, and it's a bit unusual from what Katie normally does. I don't think anybody's going to even look at this, you know, because I've noticed, like, when I've posted things on forums, you know, and there's been, like, another trans woman who's prettier and younger than me, all the attention's been on her, and don't get me wrong, I don't begrudge them for it, I think it's great, you know, but people are so shallow, especially men, are so absolutely flipping shallow. I mean, they can give you, you know, I don't think they mean to hurt you, but like when you post your picture on a forum and you get like, you might get 8 likes or something like that, but when somebody younger and prettier posts their picture on a forum, they get like 100 likes and they get like applauded and stuff, and you can see, and you see, yeah, basically I shouldn't really exist, you know, I'm just a nobody, I'm just kind of, literally, you see me as slime, you know, so yeah. So, that's what I wanted to say, really, and it looks as if I'm going mentally crazy, and I don't care, because nobody's going to see this anyway, because nobody ever looks at my videos, because I'm not young and I'm not pretty, and I've noticed if you're young and pretty, you get more views on YouTube. You don't, you know, and if you're me, they just look at you and they just write you off completely. So yeah, no matter how much effort you put into stuff, you know, you won't get any views on YouTube unless you're really, really young and hot, right? So there, and that's all I want to say. So bye. Well, thank you to everyone who did watch this, and I'm really sorry for my rant, and you know, I love you all, so cheerio, bye.